Hello and welcome to this SPSS one-on-one series with the Word Analytics. Today we look at the independent samples t-test, which is used for comparing two groups against one continuous outcome and see if there are any differences in their means. As usual, we use a dataset that is pre-installed with SPSS, which you can access on your computer and follow through the steps. To get that dataset we are using today, simply go to File, Open Data, locate the installation folder for SPSS, usually under this PC, look for the partition with Windows, and then go to Program Files, choose IBM, and then open SPSS, open Statistics. You will see a number corresponding to the version of SPSS you're using, open it, and then open the samples folder. Okay, then choose your language. Use the horizontal scroll bar to look for a data set called test scores. This one, select it and open. So in this example, we are going to use two variables, one called gender and one called the post-test as our numerical outcome. Our categorical independent variable gender, if I go under variable view, you will see that gender has two groups, that's male and female, and I need to know the codes assigned to each of them because we shall need to use them. 0 for male, 1 for female. Click OK. So the question we are asking ourselves, if we compared the mean exam score for males versus the mean exam score for females, are they the same? The null hypothesis states that the mean exam score for males is equal to the mean exam score for females. But the alternative says the mean exam score for males is not the same as the mean exam score for females, meaning they are different. So to check whether there are differences, we use the independent samples t-test to compare the two groups of male and female, which are categorical, versus a numerical outcome. To run the independent samples t-test, simply go to Analyze, go to Compare Means, and then go to Independent Samples t-test. The test variable here, we put in the numerical outcome, which is post-test, the exam scores, and then the grouping variable, we are going to use gender, and push it under grouping variable. You will see the question marks asking you to define which groups do you want to compare. This is mostly important if in your variable you had more than two levels. For instance, if you had male, female, and maybe other as a gender, but you only wanted to compare two. So this is where we would specify which groups we want to compare. So click on Define Groups and put, by default you'll find there 1 and 2, but remember our groups was 0 and 1. 0 for male and 1 for female. If I wanted to compare group 0 and 3, I would still specify them here. Once everything is set, click Continue and then click OK. Here you will see the summary statistics for this variable post-hoc tests or the exam scores. The males, this is their number, their mean is 67.2, whereas the female, this is their number and the mean is 67.0. These are their respective standard deviations. We go to the results of the independent samples t-test. Before we interpret the results of these independent samples t-tests, we have to be sure that we've met all the assumptions of the independent samples t-tests. So the three assumptions that we have to first look at here are: 1, the outcome variable should be normally distributed. Number 2, the assumption of independence. The outcome in one group should not be affected by the other group. Number 3 is the equal variances or standard deviation. It is assumed that the standard deviation among the males and the standard deviation of test scores among the females should be equal. It is another way of telling us that the participants in each of the groups should actually come from one population. They should have the same standard deviation or the same variance. So by default, the results of independent samples t-test will give you the Leibniz test for equality of variances, which tests the third assumption that the variance in each group should be equal. Now, here is the thing. Most times we say when a p-value is less than 0.05, that is statistically significant. But this is a bit different because the hypothesis we are testing using the Leibniz test for equality of variances is that the variance among males is equal to the variance among females. In other words, we would be interested in having a null which is true, like they are the same. So we would be interested in having a p-value above 0.05 for us to say that that assumption has been fulfilled. So when we look at our p-value for the Leibniz test, 0.18, which is above 0.05, meaning there are no significant differences in the variances of test scores of males and females. So that assumption has been passed. That's when we go and interpret other things. Otherwise, if we had not passed this assumption, then we would go ahead and interpret the results in the second row. So our assumption passed, therefore we are interpreting the first row, which says equal variances assumed. Here we have the t-value, the degrees of freedom, which is n minus 1, and then the p-value, which is 0.75, telling us that there is no significant differences in the mean exam scores of males and females. Even when you're using the naked eyes, you can see that 67.2 is not any different from 67.0. Those are the two means we are comparing, and you can see that 67.2 minus 67, this is the mean difference and not statistically significant. Still, we also have here independent samples effect sizes. The Cohen is D, a value of 0.14, indicating that it is a small variation. Most scholars use a cutoff of 0.2 as small, 0.5 as medium, and 0.8 as large. Lastly, let me show you how you can present the results of this analysis for your research. So after running your analysis, this is how you would present the results of your findings. We would say an independent samples t-test was conducted to compare exam scores between males and females. Results showed that there was no difference in the mean test scores between males. When you see males, they had a mean of 67.2 with a standard deviation of 13.8, and females who had 67 as the mean and the standard deviation of 14.1. Then we give in the t-test results. A t at degrees of freedom, this, you can see the degrees of freedom are here. The value was 0.319. Here is the value, 319, and then the p-value is 0.75. This indicates that exam scores for males and female students were similar. They were not statistically. So today we've looked at the independent samples t-test, how to run it in SPSS, how to interpret, and how to report your results for your research. So next we look at the paired samples t-test, where you've observed the same participants and taken a measurement, say, before a treatment and after a treatment, and you're asking yourself, is there a difference in the mean scores before and after that could be attributed to your intervention, such as a training? So if you have any comments, drop them in the comment section. I'll be able to respond to them. Like and subscribe to our video so that you do not miss out any of the episodes we release. See you in the next video.